Polyamorous women are constantly asked, what man talked you into this? And that tells me one thing. Most people don't understand polyamory. Because real polyamory, especially the kind I practice, is hard for most men. Because it isn't about getting more access or more affirmation. It's about unlearning control. It's about undoing the kinds of relationships that were built on fear, obligation, and ownership, and creating something new. Something rooted in trust, growth, and mutual care. That makes it deeply threatening to patriarchal systems we grew up with, and therefore threatening to people who are socialized into patriarchy. For context, when I talk about polyamory, I'm generally speaking from my own experience of what I call entwined polyamory. Actually, after my partner's book, Entwined, Essays on Polyamory and Creating Home, Alex Alberto. Entwined polyamory is a form of non-hierarchical polyamory where partners and metamors form deep bonds, share resources, and expect to be in each other's lives for many years, even a lifetime. It's chosen family, built with intention. Yes, autonomy matters, but in entwined polyamory, interdependence is just as important. It's about mutual care without control. For men, societal programming tells us that our masculinity depends on being able to access a woman's body whenever we want, and that we must jealously guard her so no one else gets in. That's because patriarchy tells us that love means ownership, that once you're in a relationship, your partner owes you loyalty, time, sex, attention. Polyamory disrupts that. It asks us to relate without possession, to choose one another freely, without defaulting to notions of obligation or control. It requires us to develop our emotion regulation and our self-esteem so we can feel secure and even joyous when a partner is spending a romantic weekend with someone new. I remember once, early in my polyamorous journey, I was in love with a woman, and she told me she was falling for someone else. My stomach dropped. I had to confront that part of me that believed love was a zero-sum game, that her wanting someone else meant I was failing and I was going to lose her. But over time, I learned to regulate that fear, to recognize that her love for someone else didn't threaten what we had. It actually deepened it. I started showing up to our relationship not as a gatekeeper, but as a partner who could hold space for her full humanity. Polyamory rejects possession as the basis of love. In patriarchal monogamy, women often carry the emotional weight of the relationship, managing feelings, soothing egos, doing the invisible work. Polyamory disrupts that too. In non-hierarchical polyamory, no one person can carry all the emotional weight. We have to develop emotional skills, share labor, and take responsibility for our own needs. Polyamory taught me to actually do my own emotional work and to value the emotional labor others were doing, not just expect it. Patriarchy thrives on invisible power, on quiet assumptions about who gets centered, who gets listened to, who gets believed. Polyamory doesn't automatically fix that, but it can help us see it. When we stop ranking relationships, we start asking better questions. Who benefits from these rules? Who gets to define what's normal? What are we replicating without realizing it? Polyamory makes power visible and therefore open to change. And seeing power clearly is the first step to changing it every time. Many of us we're taught that commitment means exclusivity. That if you really love someone, you'll be enough. And if your partner wants more, it's a betrayal. But entwined polyamory says something different. It says, I trust you. I don't need to control you. We're building something that doesn't rely on fences. It's not less secure. If anything, it's more secure because we no longer have reasons to lie or to hide from our partner. We can grow and change without fear that our partners will feel that we've broken some contract to remain in the box we started out in because that's what they signed up for. Now, today, if one of my partners spends a week away with another one of their partners, I genuinely feel excited for them. I see that time as an opportunity for me to reflect and spend time with myself, maybe connect with my other partner. Not a threat. That didn't happen overnight, of course. But over time, I built the kind of inner stability that makes it possible to let someone grow, let your partner grow, instead of holding them still. It's trust, not surveillance. Commitment, not control. Patriarchy doesn't leave room for fluidity. It wants roles, husband and wife. It wants boxes and binaries and rules. But polyamory, especially non-hierarchical polyamory, entwined polyamory, lets us ask, what kind of relationship do we actually want? How do we want to love each other outside of the scripts we were handed? That's why I believe that polyamory gives space for people to explore every aspect of themselves. That's where queer, trans, non-binary, and other non-conforming people often find space to breathe, to build relationships that reflect who they are, not who they're supposed to be, to allow them to grow, to know themselves. Polyamory doesn't automatically undo patriarchy, but when it's practiced with intention and deep care, working to undo hierarchy, coercion, and control, it can become a space for real transformation, a place to unlearn possession, to share power, to love without domination. People think polyamory is about having more, but the truth is it's about becoming more. More free, sure, but also more honest, more intentional, more committed to the people and things that truly matter. And that's not just liberating, it's revolutionary.